All right, guys, welcome back to another episode on the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast. So I got the other half right in front of me, staring literally at me. Chris, how you doing today?
What's going on, man? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you guys are doing well.
It's funny, I feel like I've been talking to you all day long.
No, that's what it's been, guys. Since Eric's in NorCal, I'm here in SoCal. Is like back-to-back Zoom calls. Oh, let's hop on a Zoom call. Text here, audio message here. It's just like it's nonstop.
Zoom's a new brotherly relationship.
Man, you imagine if Zoom wasn't around?
Couple arguments here and there over Zoom. I mean, it's kind of funny. It used to argue in person, but now it's all over Zoom.
Yeah, nothing like being in person, though, man.
But other than that, how's your week going?
It's going good. I'm excited about the direction we're going with our Dynamic Fit Pro program and changing up some of like the offers and the programs and stuff. So, we pretty much keep getting the book out there. We got 4th of July weekend coming up. We're pretty much locked down here in LA. It looks like for another 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm just staying focused, man. And, trying to do the best I can every single day. That's it,
Yeah. I love it. Same here. Just staying focused. And again, just going back to controlling what I can and not stressing what I can. I mean, again, it's unfortunate how, we just can't get all this stuff under control, but there's only so much you can do, and what I'm always going to say to like what we say to our Fit Pro students, right? I mean, there is a lot of uncertainty going forward that we can't predict, but it's like, what is certain is the control of your business and what you do on a day-to-day basis to, get shit done and, make your time efficient and build for the long run, right? And continue to build a great online business that you can control and it will never, ever impact you going forward.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And just like to all the Fit Pros or even just entrepreneurs that are listening to this, I mean, it's better to get started than to not. I know a lot of people are kind of just in that mindset of like, I need to have it 100% perfect and polished, but it's never going to be like that, guys. Trust me. I mean, being at this for 10 years, look at you and I, we're always like, man, we need to change this. We need to add this. It's never going to be 100%, man. So that's the thing, is just get it started. If you're looking for an online business or even to add online training to your existing fitness business.
Yeah. And just really quick, I mean, we're 6 months into 2020, right? I mean, nobody would have predicted that the first half of the 2020 year would have gone like this. Like there's no way. But again, it's an opportunity to finish up the second half, right? Because we have a little bit more clarity as to what might happen as opposed to not knowing, completely out of left field. So that's just what I say is like, set yourself up for 2021 right now. I mean, that's what I'm really trying to do. I mean, it is what it is with this year and going forward. But again, there's so much time and stuff that you could be doing just to get stuff done and really putting yourself in the driver's seat for 2021.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Cool. So let's kick this off. What we're talking about today is, how literally to, watch your personal training lead generation problems disappear. So we're going to get into five ways to do this through lead generation.
Yeah.
Right. And more importantly, why are we talking about this today? Right. Because lead generation, driving traffic, getting eyeballs, it really is the name of the game right now, especially, pivoting online as things get, go more online to where it's like, you have to understand how to acquire leads and get crafty with that, build those skill sets and, just learn how to get traffic going your way. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the bottom line is just traffic's not going to just come your way out of nowhere. You could have these dreams, of like, just take, for example, like a football stadium or something like that. It's empty and you're standing like right in the middle of it. You can have this dream of building this football stadium, but it's like, they're not going to just come to it, right? You have to figure out a way to get people and get butts in the seat. It's the same exact thing with your business. Like you can have the best service, the best product. You can be the best online fitness coach, in-person coach, hybrid coach. If you can't find ways to drive traffic and get leads, I mean, you're not going to have a sustainable business. Just, to the end of the day, you're not.
Yeah. And vice versa. The other fitness professional or other person, in your industry that is good at marketing, acquiring leads, is always trying to learn something new, is going to beat you every time.
Yeah. And that's why we stand by one of our core tenets, man, here in our Dynamic Fit Pro program is be a fitness marketer first and a coach second. Like literally you got to be always selling and marketing. You have to change your mindset and reframe it as a fit pro to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. Let's kick this off. So we'll go into the 5 lead generation problems and then we'll give you guys some value and context on how to potentially solve these problems. Right. And all we ever ask for is to take action, right? Just put these things into play, test them out. It's an experiment. If they don't work, you guys can just be like, Chris and Eric, like this podcast sucked. Like you guys don't know what you're talking about, but that's what we're here for, right?
One more ask too
Yeah.
is if you find value in this, and then, even if you got value from it right now, just go ahead and like, just hit that share button on iTunes right now, take a screenshot, put it on Instagram, tag us, we'll reshare it. We always appreciate that.
Yeah. And really quick, I mean, anyone that's listening, the listeners, if you guys have got a copy of our book, whether it's the digital, audio, physical copy, thank you so much. First and foremost with everything, just before I kick this off, I mean, it means a lot to us, just, it's been a crazy past 3 weeks with this whole book launch, and it's been gratifying, just awesome, just seeing people just share it, just already just the feedback, people taking action, the impact it's creating. So guys, we always like the feedback. Shoot us a DM on Instagram at Chris and Eric. I mean, we love the feedback on that. So again, thank you so much for that.
And then keep up on the stories too. Last time when I was in NorCal, I got Eric when he was like out there sun tanning, and just like, man, I pulled a ladder out, went over the fence. I got him good too. So
that was funny. I give you credit for that, man. That took a lot of work, but
right.
we weren't blessed with height. Okay. So lead generation problem number one is you are trying to serve the entire world, right? So let's get into that a little bit more. So this is, again, goes back to marketing and messaging, right? To where you're literally trying to speak to the masses. And I was actually doing a consultation call with a fitness professional this morning. And he was even saying too that he's not very clear on who he wants to work with, right? Because I always ask that, like, do you know who your ideal avatar is? Do you know who it is that you want to serve and work with? And I was saying that, just think about this, right? If you have this on a landing page or a bio, a video, and you're the personal trainer saying that, hey, I'm a personal trainer or an online coach that helps people, lose body fat and gain muscle mass, right? It's so generic. It's like speaking to the masses. We have no clue, who this person's speaking to. And then I told him vice versa. If you have, personal trainer B that actually says like, oh, like I work with, with dad bods that, just used to be in great shape, and, they want to get back in shape because they let themselves go, and they're about 30 to 50 years old, and they just need accountability and hope, right? Very clear, as opposed to who that is and who you're speaking to, who you're targeting. So it's a huge lead generation problem, when people are speaking to the masses instead of, really understanding their messaging and speaking those pain points to the specific person that they want to acquire.
But also why this is an issue is people try to work with too many niches, right?
Right.
That's a
Yeah.
mistake we made, trying to serve like 5 different niches, right? Like power lifters, bodybuilders, athletes, general population, all that stuff, right? You got to pick one niche to really, really focus on and really, really double down on, because that's when you learn their pain points. That's when you start speaking their language. That's when your messaging gets clear. I like what Seth Godin says in one of his books is the SVA, your smallest viable audience, right? So that goes down to just picking one niche and just picking a small viable audience to focus on, for 6 to 12 months at the very least. That's where people get themselves in trouble. They try to serve way too many niches. And at the end of the day, it's like that old saying, the niches are in the riches, or the riches are in the niches. And if you're trying to serve 3 to 5 different niches, you're not going to be rich, man. So just focus on one niche and just double down on that.
Yeah. And that's one thing too. Like we're always brutally honest, is like, we've been doing this for 10 years. So, we have a lot of, fails that we've had, with, dynamic duo training, and again, not narrowing down the niches. And again, we're trying to save you guys the time and heartache. So really get clear, on who your niche is, who you want to serve. And again, simple little exercise for you to do on that is a brain dump, right? Just, who is my target avatar? Who do I want to work with? Who's this ideal person? Where do they usually hang out? And what's most importantly, what's my niche?
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we got that one squared away. So the second lead generation problem is you're focusing too much on certifications, right? So
I know you love this one.
man, this one gets me fired up. I've talked about it so many times, like on Instagram, like other videos, but the best way I can kind of give this to you guys is if you have two fitness professionals side by side, and somebody is looking to hire, one of those fitness professionals, the very first one, let's just say, they have all the certifications in the world. They have their PhD, their nutritionist, biomechanics, whatever you want to say, right? 10 different certifications, but they don't know shit about sales or marketing. They don't know how to position themselves. They don't know how to create content on social media. They don't even know how to communicate with like their clients, right? But they have all these certifications and they're super smart. Then option B for the other trainer is You know, they're still a very good coach. They don't have all these different certifications or fancy PhDs and stuff like that, but they're very good at communicating with their clients. They're very attentive. They know how to sell. They know how to market. They know how to position themselves. They know how to craft their message on social media. I guarantee 9 out of 10 times, always they're going to go with that option B, you know, because that coach knows how to get themselves out. He knows how to build relationships. He knows how to craft his message out there on social media to attract people to him. Attractive marketing, right? And that's just the best way I can put it. You know, I'm not for or against certifications. I'm not. You know, we have a bunch of certifications, but I've always said that we did that because I feel like we were not confident and we felt like we were incompetent, right? With like training nutrition. And we just thought that the next certification was going to make us better, but it never did. It never did. We knew our shit. And, you know, after so many years, we got confident. We started believing in ourselves, and it wasn't about the next certification. It was just about being there for the client, you know, accountability, the hope, serving them, giving them confidence and getting them fucking results at the end of the day, which you don't need a PhD to do at the end of the day, or you don't need 10 different certifications to do that, you know?
Right. Yeah. And no, those are great points. I think a lot of the way we're kind of been brought up and the whole education system, which is broken, the perception of that is always like, get that letter or those acronyms next to your name, right? That puts your value up there. That means you're worthy and certified and you have enough like authority to do stuff, right? That's like the old school mind, closed minded, very just like, you know, fixed mindset of that way of just, you know, looking at people that, you know, you can trust for services. And it's not like that anymore. And for example, we were just even, you know, doing a call earlier with our friend, Chris Hitchko, right? He's the owner of Show Up Fitness Internship, where he helps personal trainers in person. And his biggest nemesis, it's always hilarious, is he hates NASM. He hates just like the model of like NASM, just all those basic bullshit certifications that they just put on a pedestal, that they market very well, right? Like you have to have it, you have to have it to be successful, to be a personal trainer. And you know, it sucks because yeah, if you are trying to do in-person training, most of the time you do have to have like a basic certification. So it is what it is with that. But I mean, our whole argument when we were talking about this with him is just that it doesn't teach you shit. Like it really, really doesn't. The information's outdated. It doesn't teach you any skill sets on like really how to just, you know, bond with people, how the customer service aspect, the delivery of it, how do you follow up with people, marketing. I'm not even going to get into that because they do not even set you up for that, right? They don't give you any tools or skill sets to learn marketing as a personal trainer. It's just like, oh, go through my bullshit 31-day, you know, certification program, get that piece of paper, and then that's it. You know, you're left in the dust with like, what is it, 1,500 to 2 grand, you know, worth of a certification. So that's why I see it just being just outdated. It's just a broken model. But again, the people's perceptions are still very just kind of high on that, to where it's like you have to have the certification and those acronyms and those fancy titles next to your name.
Yep.
Yeah. So then what should they do? What should they focus on instead?
Sales and marketing, you know, because like, look, if you get the certifications, okay, great, but you better know how to sell it and market it and position yourself with that authority with that, right? Or else what good does it do? Because no one cares about the service. Like, remember, we worked with over thousands of clients, man, and only maybe 2 people out of those thousands of clients asked us, hey, what's your certifications?
Yep.
And at the end of the day, that wasn't a make or break. They didn't say, I'm not going to hire you because of that. You know, they were just curious. So after that, I was like, wow, like spent so much money on these certifications, a master's in sports nutrition, like CSCS, all this time, got the knowledge, right? But again, it was because we weren't confident. We just didn't believe in ourselves enough, you know?
Yeah.
So you're going to get those certs. You have to double down on the marketing and knowing how to sell and position it and put it out there on social media and build the authority, right?
Yeah, no, well said. I'm not saying don't get certs. I mean, we've done it, you know. So, but again, don't just let that be the end of the road. You know, understand that you have to acquire more of these tools and skill sets going forward to really put this whole vehicle and business to go forward every single day.
Yep.
Okay, so lead generation problem number 3 is your perception isn't strong enough. So I think a funny analogy is that you always use, and I've caught this like on your email copy and stuff, is like you said that we want to show you guys how to be the Whole Foods trainers, not the Walmart trainers. So let's dive into that, man. I think that's pretty funny. So what do you mean by this?
I mean, it's just a good way to kind of put it to where people can like visually see it, right?
Mhm.
So and it's nothing against like Walmart, right?
No.
We've dropped there before and stuff like that, but it's just when you walk into a Walmart and then you walk into a Whole Foods, you know already the perception of how you feel when you walk in there, right?
Right.
And then just think about this too, like a Ritz-Carlton hotel or a Motel 6. When you walk into that Ritz-Carlton, you're going to feel so much different than a Motel 6. So that's why I say is like we want to develop the Whole Food Fit Pros instead of the Walmart Fit Pros. The Walmart Fit Pros are the ones where, again, they're very stuck on the system, the old system that's broken, the model. Cert after cert, no marketing or sales, skills. They charge like literally $100 for like, online packages. They charge like $30, $40 for in-person packages, right? It's just a constant treadmill that they're on with their business, as opposed to the Whole Foods. I said Amazon because Amazon owns Whole Foods now. The Whole Foods trainer, those are the dynamic fit pros that we develop in our program, right? Those are the ones that are fitness marketers first, coaches second. They're not afraid to sell. They want to serve at the highest level. They want to get good at social media. They want to get good at, branding themselves, right? They're not afraid to charge high premiums, and that's basically what I mean by just like your perception isn't strong enough, right? It's like, how do you want to be perceived as a fitness professional? Perception's everything. Again, if I go back to analogy and we're going on Instagram and somebody's picking out like online coaches, there's two coaches there. One coach has, let's say, 20,000 followers, and he's got really, really good gallery of like, videos. He's got a good bio that's catchy, all that. Maybe he's not the best coach, but he has all that stuff right there that's great from a perception point of view. Then there's another coach, again, awesome coach, but again, he doesn't know how to sit there and craft his message in his bio. He doesn't have good, like, catchy pictures. He doesn't have a good gallery on social media, and he only has like 500 followers. Who do you think is going to, who do you think they're going to pick? They're going to pick the coach that has like 20K because of the perception. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but it's the reality of it. And that's what I'm saying. How do you want to be perceived as a fitness professional? You got to take that really, really serious. And it goes back to personal branding, man,
Yeah,
which
it's
we've
true.
invested a lot of money, like with like Mark Lack, which I consider him like the king of like, personal branding. We're very heavy on teaching this to our dynamic fit pros in our VIP program. There's a whole entire like module on personal branding that Mark Lack did in there for our fit pros. So it's huge. You just have to ask that question. Do you want to be the Walmart version or you want to be the Whole Food version?
Yeah, no, well said. And then it's so true. I mean, there's no argument there. And then even too, I mean, we talk a lot about this in our book, right? Rise of the Fit Pros, where literally it's like we want to show fitness professionals how to sell transformations, not just transactions, right? And I see way too many people doing that, right? To where it's just like they want the quick buck, and they don't want to sell transformations. But that's how you position yourself to be a wealthier fit pro, right? To just have all that value, have all that credibility, be able to really help and serve these people and create impact and create an entire transformation in their entire life, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to as well too. So I love it though. I mean, those are really good, points that you make on that. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's move on to lead generation problem number 4, right? Which is your traffic sources are all over the place. So, I mean, let's talk about that. So if we want to talk about the different traffic sources, right? We have create traffic, we have borrow traffic, we have buy traffic, and we own traffic, right? So those are all different ways that we could, generate traffic. So like, what do you think, like a personal trainer, like what do you see most fitness professionals, making the mistake on when it comes to like owning their traffic sources?
Well, it's two parts. Like the first one is they're trying to do all traffic sources, right? And they're trying to do like the creating one, where that's basically, borrowing like traffic, or no, creating is basically like you doing like posts on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff, right? So that's the number one thing people go after, but that's considered organic, right? And then the next one is paid traffic. So that's if you want to like, pay for YouTube ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. Fit pros are very scared of that, number one, which again, they need to reframe their mindset, because at some point they're going to have to sit there and pay for traffic to acquire leads, because you can't just do organic. You're going to get exhausted with your list. You need a new fresh set of eyeballs on you. So you have to do some sort of paid traffic eventually. Then the other one was borrow traffic, right?
Yep.
Eventually you have to think of a way to create like a JV, a joint venture, collaborate with people, get on people's podcasts, guest blog, um, do collaborations on YouTube or Instagram, right? So you're getting other people's traffic and eyeballs for you, right? And then the other mistake, man, is like they don't own their traffic, right?
Yep.
So they'll do all those other 3 traffic sources that we talked about, like borrow, create, buy, but then they won't own it. They don't understand that like when you do all that stuff, it's rented land, right? On social media, you don't own anything. So you have to have an email list, and you have to have a text messaging list as well too, because you own that stuff. That's your traffic that you own per se. So they make the mistake of not having an email list or even starting to do a text message list, which we tell all of our Fit Pro students, start off with a text message list. You don't have to get fancy and buy a software or anything like that. Unless you have like over 100, then start buying a software. But if you have only like, maybe 50 of your text messages from like clients or leads, put them on a spreadsheet, just keep track of those and maybe just, text them once a week. And you can get a cheap burner app type of phone number for like $5 a month, or like Sideline or something like that, or a Google number or something like that. Right. But at least it gets you in the game of owning the traffic of text message and email. Right. But
Yeah.
that's the biggest mistake, man, is like there's 4 ways to have that traffic, and they're all over the place with it. They need to double down on one traffic source and test that out, and then pivot and then experiment with other ones. But they're all over the place with their traffic sources. They don't really understand the game of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and it's a never ending thing. And again, we go back to the same concept, right? It's just like why we always say, you have to be a fitness marketer first and coach second. And again, I know people don't like it, but the more and more people I've actually had this conversation with, they fully are on board now. They're not as resistant as they used to be, which is funny because they're starting to see how things are really shaping out. If you are having an online business, it's like it is about traffic, and it's like the best thing I can tell you is just exhaust that traffic, that you can just do organically at first, right? Because it's all about sweat equity when it comes to that. It's your time and your hustle and grind, right? How much of that you can always put into that on a day-to-day basis, and you'd be fucking surprised how much progress and how many leads and stuff you can create when you do put in the right time and you sit there and you're consistent and you're rinsing and repeating this system and even putting this all into a CRM system and following up people. So
Yeah. And like
powerful.
what you said about like the sweat equity thing, right? That's what normally people start off with, is because you either have time or you have money, right? But
Right.
most pros, they don't have the money. So they start off with time and they have to bust their ass and put that sweat equity in and do a lot of organic and create their traffic, right? And that's fine, but like once you get some traction on that, once you get clientele, you have to have that mindset to reinvest in paid traffic. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You can't just
Yeah.
keep doing the organic stuff because of your time. You can't train clients in person and online, create a bunch of content, run your business. I mean, you're going to run out of time. You're going to get frustrated.
Yeah, absolutely. So biggest thing I could say for this one, Fit Pros, is literally just you guys have a phone, you guys have social media, you guys have a whole Rolodex of contacts. Get in there, start texting people, asking indirect questions if they know people that need help, and just do it. Put yourself out there. And again, I've almost going to say that one of my mentors said that 80% of sales is made through the 7 to 12 touch points, right? 7 to 12 touch points. So be persistent, develop that EQ. People are going to say no. It's all good. Just go on to the next person.
Yep.
So all right, last and final lead generation problem, right? Number 5 is you don't have a free offer. So this one's good too, because we're big on this, right? This is something that we always tell our Fit Pro students in our programs is, have like some sort of free offer, have like a lead magnet, have like an ethical bribe, to not only just build the know, like, trust, but, give value. And, you have to do that in order to, incentivize them to either give up an email or their phone number to get them, to get them into your sales funnel sequence or opt-in funnel or, your ecosystem. So yeah, it's a really big one, right? So I think we have 8 ways, right, that we want to talk about, like 8 ways to make a free offer.
Yeah, so watch. It sucks for the people that are listening to audio. You guys can't see this, but the YouTube people, they get to actually see this because I'm going to share my screen. But what's funny, guys, is like I actually did a whole entire blog on this, like what we're talking about. So I was telling Eric, we should do an audio on this because I know not everybody's going to read a 2,000 word article. We're going to have people that will like that, but it's like, why not pop this up on YouTube and like audio? So that's another little ninja trick for you guys. If you guys do blogs, do a video portion and an audio portion too. And you guys can knock out all 3 of those different ways. But watch, if I go all the way down here, and just to piggyback on what Eric was saying, the free thing, like I want to read this right here. There's this really good book by Chris Anderson. It's called Free, which I highly recommend. I read this. He said, we are in an information age. People want cheap, better, fast, and digital. Okay. So you have to have some sort of like free offer, some sort of like low barrier to entry, right? Whether that's free or if it's like maybe $5, $10, right? But always start off with something free, right? And there's basically 8 different free offers that you guys can really work with here that I'm going to read off here on the blog, which you guys can go back and read this. I'm going to put it in the show notes as well too. But the very first one is a free lead magnet, right? So that's basically like a PDF, a cheat sheet, video series, and you do that for an exchange for like an email address or a phone number or something like that, right? The second one is a free bribe offer. So an example of this is like if you have a course or something like that, a fitness course, you can get all of my course for free, which is like basically a 12K value if you sign up for my 397 monthly program, free with purchase. So you're adding something on as like a free bribe offer, right? The third one is unlimited free offer. So you can do like a 28-day trial. Like it's no customization or individualization or accountability coaching. And then after that, for 28 days, then you upsell them into like, your normal like continuity program that's paid, right? The fourth one is free trial plus penalty, right? The same thing. You can do like a 28-day free trial, but if they don't sit there and get the results, or if they don't, meet this criteria, then they have to pay you your monthly your fee. Another one is free challenges with contingencies. These are cool too, because like you can host like a paid challenge, and you can make these contingencies where it's like, hey, you have to lose like 10 pounds, you have to get X amount of workouts in per week, you have to do XYZ, right? You make up the contingencies. If they don't meet those, then they have to pay you, for the challenge, right? So that's a cool way to do that too. And then there's a free forever model to where it's like you can train people free, like do their training nutrition consulting. But if you have like done for you meals or like supplements that you're selling, they have to buy those too. So you get the kickback in the back end, if that makes sense. And then free giveaways, supplements or meals for a month, and then you upsell them into like your continuity coaching. And then the eighth one is free with commitment. Your first month is free as long as you commit to 8 to 12 weeks of coaching, your coaching program, right? So there's like 8 different ideas on free on how you guys can get started on something like that, so there's really no excuse, but you have to have some sort of free offer, in your lead generation strategy, in order to get like qualified leads.
Yeah, I agree. It's a huge thing that a lot of people make mistakes on. So guys, I mean, there's no excuse not to sit there and be able to create something that's free of value, put a little, time into it. There's, sources like Upwork, Fiverr, to where you guys can design it really well. I mean, Canva, you guys can make it look visually appealing. Just, take pride in it. Take pride in it. That's part of your personal brand and services. And again, if you do a good job delivering that, people will definitely want to sit there and invest more in you. So, yeah, that was the 5 lead generation problems, that I think a lot of fitness professionals are having. So, again, if you're having one of those, if one of those just stood out, and we've covered that and given you a light bulb moment, then awesome. But you're not the only one out there that's having this issue. There's a lot of people that have these issues. And again, it's just going back to the drawing board. It's a huge experiment and just fine tuning things and testing things out.
Yeah, yeah. This was good, man. This was fun. I think these problems are definitely like real for a lot of fit pros, and I know we struggled with a lot of them too when we were doing like a lot of our health and fitness coaching online in person. So I hope that you guys get something out of this, out of those 5 things, and just put it into action and test, and again, reframe your mindset to be fitness marketer first and a coach second. That doesn't mean you have to be a shitty coach by any means.
Absolutely.
You can be a badass coach and get them results too, but you got to learn the skill of marketing and lead generations and getting people in the door.
Absolutely. And with that said, I mean, that will ultimately lead to more income, more impact, more independence and influence as a fitness professional. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So other than that, guys, too, if you have not checked out our book, Rise of the Fit Pros, literally $10 book, either way, like it's a digital, audio, or physical, one of those concepts or chapters will change the game for you guys. So check that out at riseofthefitpros.com. Other than that, that's really it. So thank you so much for tuning in. And then until next time, go out there and live a dynamic lifestyle. We're out.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video and another episode on pro tips on living a dynamic lifestyle. We truly appreciate it. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of it. If you're interested in getting more value like this from these pro tips, make sure to subscribe above. We're going to be dropping these daily. Also, if you are a fitness professional and you're looking to create more income, impact, influence, and independence, we just dropped our new book, Rise of the Fit Pros, so you guys can do all of that, and you can also start building your hybrid training model of in-person and online training. So make sure to click the link or the book right here to grab your guys' copy, and we'll send it over to you. Other than that, we're out. Talk to you soon.